when riding in the spectral lines. This one is love, and it does echo. Sitting down and counting elements. Christmas morning as it's snowing, surrounded by a lot of molecules, and entirely alone, unless you count the Holy Ghost, I guess. Depending how you frame attendance. I have 2 slits that let the light in. The wavelengths crash into perception. I think that I can see these colors. I believe that there is time and a few other illusions that they sold to us as children. First came 1, and then came 0. First there's order, then there's entropy. First there's something, then there's nothing. Neither created nor destroyed, I guess. Everything in ebb and flow. First comes silence, then serenity. I bring you greetings from the alley cats, hovering beneath reality, ascending to the first dimension, where everything is kind of linear. First I'm a point, then I'm a line, and I can split like an infinity. If you want it, you can have it. At least I think that's what the plan is. The things you notice when you look for them. The things you'd hear if you'd just listen. Knowing that I do not exist, which means I have the superpower of understanding that I am already dead. This one will fold into geometry and can conceive of pure mathematics. This one knows better than to laugh. When God starts up with that old joke again, who'd sell their soul for a little power? Who'd sit alone and count the hours? Who could really tell the difference? The snow's still falling, the day quiet. A lighter I keep in my pocket for setting fire to the poisons I've been taking, levitating in the frame and floating out into the ether. Later, I will call my sister and we will speak about existence, just like children often do when peering down into the river. I wrote this one high on Ubik, but when I read it, I'll be sober. Yes, they siphon all the juices and give off a falser glitter with a casual serenity, as when counting up my breath. Suppose in this one I reflect, just as a mirror does, subliminal, almost at the level of the light as it courses through the canopy. I am a monkey in the end, with lots of clever little prophecies. When I am whole within myself, then I am whole inside of everything. I wrote this one in a trance, down the road from that old graveyard. In my body there's the dusk, and I am floating in between the levels of that cosmic radio, playing on every different frequency. I can hear them in the quiet. Suppose in this one I refract, just as a prism does, spiritual, spread across a couple of dimensions. I am a universe in the end, with lots of sensory delusions. When at last I see I'm nothing, then I'm whole inside of everything. Feels just like waking from a dream, realizing I've been here before and none of this is really happening. Though when they tell me it's reality, I just smile and say yes, while in my head I'm thinking maybe, and levitating through the ceiling, seeing cats for all their meanings, meditating between frequencies. Though I don't say that part out loud, since if I did, they'd tap my spine again. So I just sit here in the quiet, and love on every living thing until they let me out of this one and bring me back to start it over. Oh God of ebb, oh God of flow, oh I won't make those same mistakes again. Although the evidence is strong that I don't learn it quite in time for the knowledge to be useful. Although at last you'll find I'm truthful. Although in time I get it right. And so this one is hallelujah. Having now been to a few others, and where in some of them you love me. This one's the Sermon on the Mount. Everything you have heard is bullshit. All this violence and this bloodshed. In this one, you love every living thing. And then you realize what that book meant when it was talking about heaven, as it has always been inside you. Humble, inheriting the earth. No devils and no retributions. Atoning for all my mistakes and not complaining what it costs. This one will turn the other cheek and give up all earthly possessions. If you would like to meet my Father, He is living up and down high, where there's hallucinating oracles, and they are huffing on the mists with premonitions of the future. They know my fate and speculate on the source beneath all consciousness. This one's both free will and free energy, an allegory for human development, what my species calls maturity. First comes death, then resurrection, and if at last I have been born again, tuned in to underlying rhythms. If I have looked and seen what God is, and seen her pendulum a-swinging, heard her alley cats a-singing, I do not think that they will sing for me. The sound the Nemesis will bring, the moon, the tide that governs everything, the one and zero, the life and death and regeneration of electrons, species, and nations, planets, stars, galaxies, and entire universes, first expanding, then contracting. If these laws are universal, then they must govern my own thinking. And so if I can see them working, then at last I can transcend them. My father called and said the water's there, an air that's clear for any lung to drink it. I have learned the way to find it. I have tried to draw a map to show my sister. I become a transparent eyeball. I am nothing. I see all the currents of the universal being circle through me. I am part or particle of God. And then I hover through the signal. I am a very old idea, one that's expressed in ancient characters. I've got some genes made for my alphabet. I've got some enzymes for my words, and I'm composed of protein paragraphs that tell the story of my life. I am a loop tied from old string. I am a very clever monkey sending messages through music, same one sent by all the others. Although this is the way that mine sounds, if you would only let me finish. Oh, won't you let me start again? I am a library of time, one built on very strong foundations, a number chosen once at random, a variation on a theme, one single particle of God who knows that God is just a particle, but she dresses in the light, and for that, men are known to worship. I am a very old idea. I am a code that is recursive. I'm one translation of the script. I am a law that's universal, written in a sort of cursive before returning to the dust. I am a song that never ends. I am one version of a couple. I am a source that does contain all of its past and all its futures. Just thought I might try living now, just like the act of recollection works when waking from a dream. Wait, is this actually my body? Well, if it's not, I guess I'll wear it till they put me in the next one. I have been learning how to count. It's 1, then 9, then 8, then 7. I have been sleeping in my car. And when I wake up, I'm in heaven. So I go walking through its meadows. So I go tasting of its pleasures. And I have noticed where the stars are in the sky and in my body. And they are spinning in elliptics. And they are glowing and magnetic. And with their gravities pull water. It makes you wonder what it means. A couple days without a shower. A couple ways to clear your head of this so-called real world of men and money and power and all the shit it tries to sell you. I have been learning how to die. And once I did, I learned to live. It is a pretty clever magic trick. I have been told that I can blend beyond the boundaries of my flesh and see my life is just a metaphor. See, my life is just a flatland when looked at from the right perspective, considered from the next dimension. The view I'm getting in my mind, translated by my faulty senses, and narratized into some language. A story I tell in my head. A cycle, one that goes from right to left, and then back again. A feedback loop that I call consciousness. The air, it comes from photosynthesis. Just as the light comes from the hydrogen. What more can I give to love? I got it down to no possessions, just to worship at her altar. Yes, the word that lets you in means something similar to please, though there's no way to actually say, how much smaller can I get? Can I evaporate to nothing? How much wider can I stretch? Can I grow to fill the universe? This one, maybe a couple others. Yes, can I learn to count to zero? What more can I give to time? The past, I guess, and then the future, plus some portion of the present, though I don't let it have it all. I save this piece I've learned to share with you. I can open up a portal that leads to anywhere I want it to. I am laying in the grass. It's raining. I am looking up at you. And everything turns out okay. What more can I give the dream when it has already got everything? When it is quiet now and trembling, when it is pulsing first, then echoing. been writing down a new mathematics where I've accounted for the fact that all these systems contain paradox by creating a new branch that doesn't claim it could know anything. And so in this, discovers proof. Been factoring a brand new calculus, one in which the integers involved are substituted for the alley cats, commutative with the birds, and where the concept of addition is replaced by children laughing somewhere softly in the distance. I suppose they heard the joke. Been trying to start a new religion, one that's connected to the earth. The things you need are there within you, and you can see them if you look. And beyond that, there's no translation, and there is no collection plate, and the God is actually you. So you should worship them accordingly. Been organizing me a marching band, and it's got everybody in it. All my neighbors and my friends, everyone I've ever met, and everyone who's living now, and everyone who ever did or ever will. The only instrument is breathing, and we've been playing it real good. And if you're quiet, can you hear it? If you'll allow me to, I'll sing for you a song or two. For instance, this one, where you're living in the dream, and where you know I've got the button, and so you come over and push it, and then the sky, it just evaporates, and you can have a talk with God, and she says she will always love you, and then you wake up in the light. If you'll allow me to, I'll draw for you an afternoon For instance, this one, where you're dressed in yellow sweaters, and you know I could love you better than anyone could ever do, except for you. And then you see that you can trust me, and so you put it in my hands, and we both carry it a while. If you'll allow me to, I'll paint for you a portrait. For instance, this one, where you're smiling in the sun, your body laid upon a blanket, a heaven any way you take it. One I am writing down in language, so you can live it in your memory. If you'll allow me to, I'll tell to you the ending, like how in this one, both our bodies turn to dust, though all along we've the sensation of one thing extending over time. Although, I guess, sometimes it stutters. It slips its head under the covers and asks if you would like to cuddle. Thank you, everybody. My name is Brett. His name is Dylan. We appreciate you being here.